got kicked off.
What just happened?
For a second.
And so, she's all like, yeah.
Is this for real?
This is my NXT. No. No. Stop that right now. Stop.
I wonder if it's Streamlabs. Why are we being kicked off?
Because I don't think we're still live.
We're not.
This is garbage.
Well, it's not the internet. We're back.
Oh, we're back. What? Hello? Nope. Stream is offline. What is happening?
Tell them I think we're coming back. Tell them give us a minute.
It's fixed.
Okay.
Hello.
All right.
Hello. We're back.
Hey, James.
We're back.
And how you doing, James?
Hi. Hello. Are we back?
Yeah, I think we're back.
I hope we're back.
We're back again.
Okay, we're back. We're good. Sorry, I just had to double check on my phone. We're good. We're back. Hello, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley. And why did it do that? You got to go to live. By the end of here.
There. I think we're back. What did y'all do? The internet screw up? So did...
No. What did I do?
I'm not sure that we can hear you.
Okay, good.
Can you see us?
Are we back? See, but on here it's just showing the old video.
Yeah.
No, but it's not doing that. Because that's not live. This is a 5-minute and 39-second video that it's showing. It's not us being live. It's just stuck on 5 minutes and 39 seconds. What is happening?
Can you see us?
What is happening here?
Yeah, it says we're online here. Let me check Facebook and see if we're good there.
On here it's a little behind. What is happening? So are we still live? Okay, good. What is happening? I don't know what's happening, folks.
Hello, Mrs. Gleen.
Hello?
We're apparently having some issues. Are we live on Twitch?
Are we live on
Do
YouTube?
we get on Go to Twitch. Turn it up so I can hear it.
Turn it up.
Testing. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Hello.
Can
This
you
is
throw your hand
behind.
with Robert Stone?
I don't know why.
Yeah, we need to do something. I don't know what's going on here.
Ah!
I can see you. Can you hear us okay?
Mr. Gleen. Mr. Gleen's chatting. What? You said that?
Yeah. Can't you tell?
That was weird. I don't know what's happening.
Like our YouTube thing is not
We
showing up. Like,
can see you.
uh,
Okay, well this is just being weird, and I don't know why it's being weird, but our YouTube thing isn't showing up, and our other stuff is. Maybe just close out of it and go back into it. Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe.
Here we are.
We're live. It says we're live.
I think when we bring this up, we'll be live.
Hello?
Alright.
Okay, we're back. Hi. Sorry, our stuff was weird. We can see you movement. #1 trending worldwide. Hello.
Alright, I think we're good.
Okay. What up, folks? Let's just try this again. Let's just start over. Forget that whatever that was 10 minutes ago. Forget that. That was not us. So I started like this. Hi, folks. How we hang? How we doing? So
The
dang.
laptop was logged in and just.
Yes,
Yes, we can see and hear you. Alright, cool. I think we're back.
So-
We're back good.
So I don't like Cameron. I don't like Cameron Grimes and Damian Priest, and that's pretty much all you missed. And so I don't like them. Grimes won that match, and it was epic. We then have Rhea Ripley and Robert Stone. He's trying to get Rhea Ripley. He's like, I don't give out second chances, but here, in my hand, you can see it. You cannot see it though.
Can you throw your internet guy in the trash with Robert Stone?
Is
We actually haven't had our internet guy here now for like 8 or 9 months.
a golden ticket
Everything's been going good.
to join me and the Robert Stone brand. And Rhea's like,
And then about 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
our entire internet went out for like the whole neighborhood. And ever since then, we've had
issues.
issues and hiccups and everything else.
So Rhea's like, nope, I'm not joining the Robert Stone brand. So she throws Robert Stone into a dumpster. And then Aaliyah comes up and she's all like, and then it was slap of the century. And Rhea was like, you just made a big mistake. I'll see you in the ring tonight. And then she walks off. And so that was that. After this, we get a Timothy Thatcher video. And he is, he's talking about wrestling.
I wrestle.
And so this was great. And we had this, and it was cool. So we then get Santos Escobar.
Hello, observing stuff. How you doing?
Well, you liked NXT, that means I didn't. That's generally the way that works.
Hello, export. Babyface Rhea isn't working for me.
Yeah, I'm going to talk more on Rhea Ripley in a minute.
She's going to join Robert Stone.
I'm going to talk more about Rhea Ripley in a minute. So the highlight of the last couple weeks of NXT have been Santos Escobar and his crew. That's kind of been the highlight for me and what I've thought has been really good. And this match with Jake Atlas was phenomenal. I thought it was good. I liked it. And so I can't wait to see what else they do. I can't wait till we have the Drake Maverick and Escobar match, because I think that one is also going to be good. And yeah, this dude and his crew have been the highlight of NXT for me for the last couple weeks. But I don't like him. So that was that. So Damian Priest is a good guy now because someone beat him up. He's still a bad guy to me. I like the main event match. Damian Priest. I just don't like Damian Priest. I just don't like him.
Yeah.
So,
you don't like him. I'm cool with him.
So,
I like Damian Priest. I think he's good.
So Santos Escobar won the match. Like I said, I thought it was good. We then get Undisputed Therapy. I think this should be like a weekly segment because this is really funny. So Roddy ends up conquering his fear of trunks, of like the trunk of a car. And so he gets in there and he sits there and is like, ha, 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 and sits there for a minute. And then
Ripley being face scares me more.
Then he's told that he's going to face his second fear and conquer his second fear, which is fighting Dexter Lumis. And he's like, I don't know about that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go fight him. But I don't know about that. So we have that to look forward to later in the evening. We next have Finn, Johnny, and Keith Lee video talking about their match for the main event. This is like fine or whatever. Like I don't have a problem with it. We then have Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter versus Dakota and Raquel. This was another fine match. It was fine. Like, whatever. It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
So Raquel and Dakota win, and then after Dakota's like, I'm coming for the NXT Women's Championship, yo. And so we had that, and that was like great. And I'll talk more on that in a minute, because we have another thing to talk about in a minute. We then get Karrion Kross versus Bronson Reed. I rather enjoyed this. This is the first time that I've really liked a Karrion Kross like match. Like this was actually good. Bronson Reed put up more of a fight than Tommaso Ciampa did. This was like good. Like he kept beating down Kross, but Kross just kept getting back up and was like angrier and angrier, and it worked. And I really, really liked this. And this is what I wanted to see from the very beginning with Kross. I didn't want to see Kross fighting these jobber dudes and beating them down like nobody, like, 2 seconds flat. That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see this, where you put a more mainstream talent. It's not very... Bronson Reed, he's been with WWE or on NXT for a bit. But he's not really one of their, main stars or whatever. But he's not a jobber talent either. And so I liked this with the fact that he was given more of a chance to fight. And he took down Kross, but Kross got up and was mad. And I like this. I like the whole idea of this, and I want to see more of this with Karrion Kross. So Kross won, and it was, that was expected. But I just like the way they did it a lot better than they have previously.
Well, I think the one thing about it is they were trying to build him up as this monster before when he was coming in.
But you could have
He
done that.
He would just destroy anybody.
Okay, but I don't care. You could have done that doing it this way before.
Well, you could have.
Putting him up against people who weren't just,
like
monster. Angelo Dawkins' reject and Lio Rush's long-lost brother.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to see matches against those dudes week after week. That doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. This meant more to me than those other matches did.
But if you're trying to
And it was essentially the same thing.
Okay.
Like, but it was just done differently.
Okay. So now you squash anybody else.
Okay, but
because you know who's going to win.
Okay, so what? But this was done better. It was Kross is winning no matter what. Kross is winning no matter what. Everybody knows that. They're building him up to take the NXT Championship and potentially the North American Championship. We know this. We know this. But I liked the way they did this better than just throwing him in the ring with a scrawny dude that we know he's going to beat up in 2 seconds flat. Bronson Reed is different. Bronson Reed is a bigger guy. And
his tights look like trash bag material.
Bronson Reed is a bigger guy, and he beat down Kross, but Kross he took it, he took the damage, but he got back up and was like, no, you shouldn't have just done that, man. And you have Scarlett at ringside going, no, man, you shouldn't have just done that. You just made him angry, and he's about to throw you into the floor, so you best be getting out the way. Like, I like the way they did this better than just putting him in a jobber match.
Okay.
So I want to see more of this. So after this, we have an Adam Cole interview, and essentially he's getting asked, who would you rather fight in 2 weeks for the North American Championship?
Yeah, I think so.
And he's like, I'm not answering your stupid question. And he just walks off. After this, we get Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah. Rhea Ripley won. Robert Stone ended up throwing a shoe in the ring. And it caused a distraction for a second. But then Rhea was like, no. And so she won. I'm not liking Rhea right now. I think what they're doing with Robert Stone is like funny and it's entertaining to watch. I just don't love what they're doing with Rhea.
I think eventually she's going to join him.
Well, I'm pretty sure, maybe I read this wrong, but I think next week that if she's fighting Robert Stone and Aaliyah, and if she loses the match, she has to join the Robert Stone brand, I think. I could be wrong, though. I might not have paid attention to that segment. So, yeah. I could foresee her joining the Robert Stone brand, and that would be fine, but I just don't like what they're doing with her. Her promo work right now is not good. Her in-ring ability is fine, and it's not like it's, worse than it was before, but I just don't care.
Yeah.
I have no reason to care. She hasn't been doing anything that's, like, important.
Is trying to make her a babyface. I think that you need to make her a heel.
But she doesn't even need to be a heel. I don't have a problem with her being a babyface. I really don't. But it's just, she's not doing anything important or anything that I should care about. Like, I just don't care. Like, I really don't.
I think you need to make her a heel.
See, I think she could be the not a bad guy, but not a good guy either. That's kind of where I think she should be placed. So
like every other wrestler?
No, I don't think she needs to be a bad guy. That's what I'm saying. The full-on babyface stuff, maybe not necessarily. James. But I don't want to see her be this horrifically mean person either. I don't want to see that. So, I don't know. I don't know what they need to do with her, but they need to fix something, because this ain't it. So, after that, we get Roddy versus Dexter Lumis, and Roddy ends up losing via countout because he runs out the building because he's too afraid to fight Dexter Lumis. So, then it's announced that next week we're getting Lumis and Roddy in a strap match because, well, why not?
Yes.
Also next week, we're getting Dakota versus Mia Yim versus Tegan Nox versus Candice LeRae, and the winner is going to challenge Aew for the Women's Championship. So, this.
I think you have to turn her heel no matter what.
But I don't. I
Anyways,
don't think you need to turn her heel. I don't think she
If
needs
you
to
don't-
be a full-blown heel. I think she just needs to be this, like...
You have to make her heel to make her believable.
No, but you really don't, because they didn't need to do that before. A couple months ago when she was on top of the world, you didn't need to make her heel. She was fine where she was. She came in and she was just this, like, badass character, you know? And it worked. And it worked for her because it just did. And that's what I want her to be. And right now, she's not that. Not at all. And I don't want her to be a heel, though.
I think you have... Okay. I mean, I think you have to make her a heel to, like, get the character over.
But I don't think you do, though, because they've done it with other people where they don't need to be this bad guy. You know? They just need to be cool. And right now, she's not any of that. Turning Rhea heel will give her a better character, but then NXT turns so many women heel, so you can't do that. Lol. Hey, Zendel, what's up? So Dakota, Mia, Tegan, and Candice are fighting next week, and the winner's going to fight Io for the championship. And this...
I would agree, James.
I think that Candice is winning. I think Candice is winning the Fatal 4-Way match.
Probably.
Because I think they're going to do a callback to the Io and Candice feud.
Probably.
Because I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, at least that's what I would do. And with her new character, I think they could do something really fun with it. They're really building up Dakota a lot, though, and I don't necessarily love that. I don't love the idea of Dakota going after the NXT Women's Championship right now. I think if she was to go after it, she needs to then lose because she's not winning the belt right now, and we're not taking it off of Io a month into her title reign. That's not happening, and if that's what we're doing, then you're stupid, and that's not what we're doing. So Dakota can win down the line, and then there's going to be the friction of her and Raquel, and they're going to break up, and that's what that's going to be, and they're not ready for that.
No,
Raquel
wins the Fatal 4.
Raquel is not ready to be broken up from Dakota and to go out on her own.
No.
I don't care how big she is. I don't care how skilled in the ring she is. No, she's not ready.
No.
She's not ready to be like a single superstar. She needs to continue to be the, big bad bodyguard for Dakota for the time being. So, that's what I think they're doing there. I guess I could also see Mia winning.
She might deserve it, James, but I don't think she's winning.
But I think Candice should win. That's who I think should win the match. Dakota will most likely win since they teased the feud with Io for 2 straight weeks. Yeah, probably, but I just don't think it's the right call because having Dakota lose I don't know. Dakota's been on a winning streak as of late, and so having her, lose this big match is I don't know. I don't love the idea of it. But whatever. So, also, the Great American Bash is coming back next week. Why? Nobody knows, but it is.
Let's see. AEW Fighter Fest, so let's do the Great American Bash.
Because why not? It's not even like they're making a big deal out of it. They're just like,
well,
Great American Bash. You know what? Yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
Why do you have to call it a name?
I don't know either.
We're going to call it the Great American Bash because...
well, see, now people are like, hey, we need Halloween Havoc back. And somebody brought up, says this year, October 31st falls on a Saturday. Come on, WWE, give us NXT TakeOver Halloween Havoc. Oh, man.
I don't get why you have to call it... I mean, other than you're just trying to compete with...
Yeah, that's the only reason they're calling it that, because I don't know.
Fighter Fest.
I don't know why calling it the Great American Bash makes it any different than just plain old NXT, and I'm afraid, folks.
That's just it.
NXT,
it's all about counter programming and trying to get a name out there.
NXT, and I'll talk more on AEW in a minute, but NXT stands no chance the next 2 weeks.
I would like the Great American Bash if they build it up and not just the week before they're doing it and go, we're having the Great American Bash.
NXT stands no chance over the next 2 weeks. With the way AEW is looking,
Yeah, it's a special event because Fyter Fest or AEW's having Fyter Fest.
It stands no chance, and I'll kind of elaborate on that in a little bit when we talk about AEW.
Here's the funny thing. People criticized AEW for, like, taking shots at WWE and like, copying WWE, and now WWE's doing the exact same thing.
Precisely. Makes no sense. So, main event... Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor, Finn Balor versus Finn Balor versus Keith Lee. This is fine. It was a fine main event. It's not like it was bad, because it wasn't bad. I knew Keith Lee had to win. I think that was obvious. That Keith Lee needed to win this match for it to be Keith Lee versus Adam Cole in 2 weeks. And then I think there's a great possibility that Keith Lee's walking out with both titles. I really do. And so I think this was just obvious that Keith Lee was winning. And I don't know. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with this, but whatever, you know?
Fyter Fest has more builds than NXT is pretty much done. I agree. That's the issue. Chat is slightly more delayed than usual when it pops up for you guys. I know, it's like, we had issues at the beginning of our stream. It, like, dropped out. So I think, I'm not sure that YouTube or Restream or we're having some issues somewhere.
Yes. So, Keith Lee wins, and then Adam Cole comes out to face-to-face with Lee, and then in 2 weeks we're getting the winner-take-all match. So... cool.
I think it was pretty obvious who was winning, that Keith Lee was winning.
I think it just makes sense for Keith Lee to win. And I think that Keith Lee is potentially taking the title off of Adam Cole, too. So...
I think there's a lot of things Vince McMahon doesn't know what to do with Jono.
Precisely.
Which is why I think right now the product is... Although Raw was pretty good this week, I thought.
Agreed. It's been good the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, after I ran my mouth about Pritchard, going to ruin the product, and then the last 2 weeks of Raw have been good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Love how that works. So, that was NXT. It was, like, fine. It was, like, a fine show. It was fine. Nothing wrong with it. But a lot of the stuff, this is, like I said, I say this every week. This is pretty much just a meh show, you know?
Me too,
and it's
James.
been that way for the last several weeks.
The only reason I think you do a double champ is if you're going to drop one of the titles.
And I don't think they're doing that. I think they're keeping both of them, and somebody's just going to be double champ. That's what I think is going to happen.
45-second delay. That's nuts.
So, this was, like I said, a fine show. There's, like, nothing wrong with it. But, like I say all the time, with NXT every week for the last... I don't know how many months.
Yes, Justin, I would say that Keith Lee is about to have 2 belts.
I just don't care.
Because I think probably what's going to happen is you're going to see Adam Cole move up or move over to one of the big shows.
I mean, potentially. I don't know. There's a possibility of that. But I just don't care about 99.9% of the stuff that's going on in NXT right now. They have a lot of these, like, just...
Throw together things?
Pretty much thrown together matches, like filler stuff that I just don't care. And I don't want to sit there and watch it for 2 hours of nothing, you know? And so that's been my real problem with NXT as of late, and which has been why I just don't care. I really don't. And so, yeah, that's NXT. NXT.
Well, that's better than 45 seconds.
So, hello. Now,
Charlotte's taking time off to start a family with Andrade.
Let's just talk about WWE for a minute before we talk about AEW. Because, well, WWE is stupid.
Stupid.
They're stupid. And I'm gonna probably go on a little rant here in a minute about the way they're handling things. Because today... it was reported that the 3 people tested positive for COVID-19. About 2.5 hours later, there was another tweet, and people started getting more information that...
Hello, Mrs. Lee.
People started getting information that it might not be 3, it might be 24 people that have tested positive for COVID-19. 24 people. 24. Let's just 24. Not 3, 24.
Yeah.
WWE has handled this so poorly, it's not even funny. It's literally not. The thing about it is, it's not just 24 people have tested positive for COVID-19, or potentially 24 people have tested positive for COVID-19. It's that 24 people have potentially tested positive for COVID-19, and they're continuing tapings like nothing's happening. Excuse me. You're not going to do anything about this at all. You're just going to pretend like you're going to stick your fingers in your ears. La 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 la. COVID-19 is not a thing. COVID-19 is not a thing. La 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 la. That's what Vince is doing. He is putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole, and this is not going to end well. This is just straight up not going to end well. And a lot of us can't...
Congratulations, Justin.
A lot of us can't be surprised that people have tested positive for COVID-19, because we knew it was only a matter of time, because they're too stupid to figure out that they just need to stop. And now...
The problem is, it's like everything we do. Like look at how the country's handled this. Our country has handled this miserably. We've handled it worse than any other country in the world. So when you have these people that are non-believers and don't believe in this and think that everything is good and we're all ready to go, and you have 125,000 deaths or 130,000 deaths in 3 months, then, it's kind of one of those things that when if you don't test, there's no cases.
I guess.
Well, that's what the president says anyway.
I guess not.
That's like saying, if I don't test
for
being pregnant,
WWE, then I'm pregnant. Not. So WWE's statement.
Still Section 7 computer issue is good. Can't stand that guy.
WWE's statement that they put out was let me just find it. Their updated statement. WWE is saying they will now be testing talent, production crew, and employees in advance of TV productions for the foreseeable future. Okay. Testing people is fine, okay? That's great. Testing people's fine. But the issue still lies with the fact that you test them, they're positive, and you do nothing about it, and you're continuing tapings like nothing is even happening. Like, that's the problem. The fact that you're still doing this. I like wrestling as much as the next guy, okay? We do our show. I love doing our show. It's great. But at this point in time, they need to shut everything down. They just need to.
COVID is a crazy thing because some people don't get sick from it even if they have it. Yeah, the big issue is they're starting to do studies and they're finding that, or some of the studies that are being put out there, that we aren't building up long-term immunity to this. So even if you've had it, doesn't mean you can't get it again. And does that mean you're going to get it worse next time?
On top of all of this.
Even if you're not dying from it, there's enough people out there that, young people that have had, young healthy people that have had issues where, they've young healthy people that have, what are you doing?
I'm trying to fix this. It's far too bright. My face is
young
white.
healthy people that have come back and had issues with their health, or like their lungs and things like that. So I think
also, yes, the fact that Ric Flair was at the tapings is also so dumb. He's gonna get COVID-19, get sick, and die, and it's going to be Vince McMahon's fault. And then Vince McMahon is gonna be like, "Oh no, I can live with myself because I'm the one I essentially killed Ric Flair." What? So, yes. Also,
my brother was tested for it twice, and he said neither tests are the painful ones you see online. And here's another issue: is there's a lot of false positives or false negatives coming out of the test. So what test is?
This is why we just need to shut everything down. Okay, I don't care at this point. I really don't. I don't care if we have wrestling on every freaking day of the week for the next 12 years. I don't care. I don't care. Shut it down. The health and safety of your performers is what matters, and it's not being taken seriously. The people that are staying home, like Roman and Kevin Owens and Sammy, props to you. Good job, guys. You said, I'm not doing this. But not everybody's doing that. Some people might be afraid to go and do it because they're worried they're going to get fired if they do. I don't know what the case may be. But if I'm 90% of these superstars and they're like, hey, we're doing our shows, we're still doing our tapings, but hey, 2,000 people have tested positive for COVID-19, but we're still doing our shows anyways. I'm saying, no, I'm done. I'm leaving, I'm going home. Screw you, Vince. I'm done. And I would do it just like that. Like, this entire thing is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I don't get it. Shut it down. Wrestling does not mean this much. Wrestling is not essential. Shut it down. Now, you got people like Daniel Bryan, you have Seth, you have Angelo Dawkins, all three of them, their wives are at home, and they're pregnant with baby, and they can potentially be bringing it back to them. That's an issue. Like, just shut it down.
Social distance matches.
Shut it down. At this point, it makes me so angry that they're not shutting it down. And I just don't want to watch it now. I'm like, I'm not like anti-WWE and anti.
Yes. She was singing it.
I'm not anti-WWE and I'm not like anti, wrestling and stuff now, but I almost just feel terrible watching the product because these people are out there. They're risking their stuff for what? For our entertainment? I could live without wrestling. It's not worth it. It's really not.
Florida cases are getting worse, I believe. Yes, they broke records over the last 4 or 5 days of, cases.
It's not worth it for these people to be getting sick. It's really not.
The big thing is it's all Florida's fault. It's the entire country. Our country.
We suck. We suck.
You cannot, because people try.
Not we. Our country.
We suck too.
We're terrible and we're garbage and we suck and that's fine. But our country sucks too.
When you can travel between states, you're not going to contain it. I think New York will have issues probably in the next 3 months again. Because nobody stays home. Nobody, people will travel. There'll be people traveling to New York, which will start the whole thing over again. And
this is just going to be a never-ending cycle if we don't get a hold of it. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it is, everybody's fault because everybody's going out and doing whatever the garbage they want to without taking into consideration what they're actually doing. And it's ridiculous. And I don't even understand. I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't
When
get it. And wrestling is like just stop.
When you have 50 states doing 50 different things,
It's aggravating.
you're going to have issues. There needs to be more online jobs. I would gladly take one. Even if unemployment pays me well. I'm bored. It's all about the money with Vince, Maven. It is, but I think the issue you have is, what if one of your wrestlers gets sick and, like, they don't necessarily die, but they have some of the...
But they nearly die.
You don't necessarily... I mean, death is, like... Yeah, that's what everybody's looking at, but I've been saying all along, this isn't just about somebody dying.
It's not, and I understand that.
It's about healthy people getting this and then having to have lung transplants.
And I get that. Like, just this entire thing, man.
So, yeah.
I don't understand. The point I'm trying to get across is Vince McMahon and WWE, you tend to listen to me a lot, so listen to this real closely. Real closely.
Chill.
Shut your shows down. Please and thank you. For the safety of your performers and for my sanity. I would very much so appreciate it. Because this is just, it's ridiculous at this point. It really is. Because honestly, the first thing I think about when I the wrestling's great and the show's great. But like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, dang, man. They're like all sitting on top of one another. And they don't need to be. And it's just, you have people that have tested positive for COVID-19 and yet you're still like, hey guys, what's up? How's it hanging? How's it going, bro? And it's no wonder everybody's sick. Like, this just like really angered me.
Are making things worse because they make people develop and not quarantine. I understand that why they're mad, and I'm angry at bad cops too. The thing is, observing stuff from what I've read, like the protests, most of the spike right now is not even from the protests. It's just from everything opening up. Because if it was a protest, wouldn't New York have, like, major issues? Or Minnesota?
I don't even know. This entire thing is just, it's ridiculous. And it's gotten out of hand.
Do you all see how AEW had fans in the stands?
I don't know if those were fans or if it was, well, I don't.
Part of the crew.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think they were wrestlers.
But they were
but I don't think they were fans. I'm pretty sure they were just like backstage members, marketing people. They weren't
all on top of each other, so I mean, they were spaced out.
Marketing people, talent, relations, whatever the garbage they need to do for stuff. AEW has handled this so much better than...
Well, their doctor said that they have to do it right, or if they don't, then he's not going to, he said that they shouldn't even wrestle if they're not going to do it the right way.
So, yes. Now that I'm done with my WWE ranting, and I've gotten my point across, shut down your tapings, shut down the show, please and thank you. It's time to go to AEW. Now, before we actually get into the AEW card, it was announced earlier today on Twitter, Tony Khan, he said that QT Marshall was supposed to be in action with Dustin against FTR, and that did not happen because QT Marshall came into contact with somebody who has COVID-19. So they told him, stay home, get tested, and let us know what your results are. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you for not coming in. Thank you for being a considerate person. And also Jon Moxley said, well, I haven't been in contact with somebody who had COVID-19, but somebody I know has had contact with somebody who has COVID-19.
I will say this, observing stuff, if anything, numbers are being reported lower than what they actually are.
So...
Because if you look at Florida and Texas, some of these states that said that they didn't have major issues, like Florida, they fired the lady that was in charge of doing all the numbers and stuff, and because she was putting in the actual numbers that were turned into her, and telling the truth, and they let her go. And Florida, their average over the last 5 years has been 900 pneumonia cases, and this year so far they have 5,000, 900 pneumonia deaths average over the last 5 years, and they have 5,000 already in the first 6 months of this year. So someone's fudging some stuff somewhere. And if you have COVID...
Renee Young has COVID-19. Well, that's nice. She put up a tweet. She said, man, what a few days. My show gets canceled and I get COVID. Wear your masks and wash your hands. Stay safe, everyone. That just sucks. It really sucks for people. Well, now Moxley's not going to be around for a bit. Is he going to be back for next week? Is next week live or taped? It's supposed to be live, isn't it?
It's going to be live, isn't it?
Yeah, if Renee has COVID now, they got to be quarantined. He's got to be quarantined for 14 days or whatever it is. He's not going to be at Fyter Fest. Thank you, Vince McMahon. Thank you for ruining the main event of night 2. It's all your fault. It really
is. It's not his fault. The thing is that, I mean, it's sort of his fault, but it's not his fault.
But it is his fault, though. I mean, it's COVID-19, and I understand that. But if he was smart and wasn't stupid and shut his show down when he should have been, if he had kept his workers safe like he was supposed to and didn't bring people in the way he, should have, he shouldn't have brought people in from, fans or whatever of friends of WWE superstars. Shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have been doing any of this in the first place. You should have kept your talent safe, and maybe none of this would have happened. I mean, it might have, but at least you would have taken all the safety precautions, so there was a chance that it wouldn't. Thank you very much.
Observing stuff, people saying how if a person died from anything else, test positive for COVID, then they mark your death as COVID. Well, I think you have to, because of what it's doing to the body. I mean, people are having strokes from this, people are having heart attacks from this, people are having, major issues going on. Unless you do an autopsy and go in and check out and see, then I think you almost have to say it's COVID. I mean, if it's, if it's something that is related to this, I think you almost, if anybody tests for COVID and then they die, I think you almost have to say it's COVID unless you go in and do an autopsy and find out something else.
Well, the Great American Bash is now expanding over 2 weeks, so.
Oh, wonder why.
Exciting.
So I think you almost have to say anyone that has COVID has to be identified as having a COVID issues. And the death has to be tied to COVID.
So, I'm
sure Vince is staying away from
So everything I just said, forget everything I just said about Jon Moxley, because now Jon Moxley has contact with somebody who does have COVID-19, and he's not going to be around for a bit. So, if the main event of night 2 gets all screwed up because, he can't be there because he's got to stay quarantined, well then Brian Cage versus Moxley is not happening right now. So.
I'm sure there's a lot more people that have it.
At this point, I wouldn't be shocked if there's more people who have it. Yeah, the numbers that we saw at first were 3. And then the numbers that we saw were more than 3 and closer to 24. So, yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt it affects everyone differently.
You could test positive and never get sick, but you're positive. And if you're positive, you're supposed to stay home for 14 days, quarantine for 14 days, right? 14 days?
I think we're still learning about this, and that's the issue. And they're finding out, like I said, this causes strokes, this causes heart attacks, this causes the lung issues. And so, if you test positive for this,
don't go out
and you die of a heart attack, then I think you almost have to tie it back to COVID. Would you have had the heart attack without the COVID? No one knows.
So.
But if you were you were okay to start with, then I think Renee will beat it. Now whether it affects her or not, lung wise and things like that, then the problem is people thinking this is no big deal, and they don't care that, they're now saying we're going to have 180,000 dead by October if we continue down the path we're going, if there's no changes made. If people start wearing masks and kind of curtail it, then they said it'll drop down to around 145 to 150,000.
But as of right now, people are not doing that. So, I'm not talking about a worldwide standpoint. I'm just talking about WWE. If we had kept our talent safer and, one person tested positive, one person had COVID. They then started testing everybody, and they're just dropping like flies at this point. And that's what a lot of people were afraid of from the get-go. And now it is. Here it is. Everybody is dropping, and it's not good.
What I would like to see...
And then they're continuing with things. And that's what's just so mind-boggling to me, is the fact that they're like, oh, we don't care. Yeah, fine, you have COVID-19, fine, go home, go do whatever you want to do. And we're just going to continue the show.
What I would like to see is to have x-rays done on lungs and things like that. Even if for people that have had, that seem to have no symptoms and things like that, do blood work and check their blood, check it all out to see if there was any internal stuff that was happening, to find out, what's going on and why this is happening to certain people and why it's not happening to other people. I think that well, our country's done a terrible job, Scott, so why would you expect anything different from WWE?
Terrible.
Us and South Korea had the same day. We had our first cases identified the same day, and South Korea's death rate is way lower than ours. But part of that is because is their culture. They wear a mask, and we don't, because it might not make me look good. I won't look tough if I'm wearing a mask. Florida's done a terrible job during the same pandemic. Yes, I agree. There's a lot of states that have done a terrible job. Now everything's going to open up. People travel. And so it's going to affect the whole country again.
Health. Nah. It's all about money first. Pretty much.
It is.
I mean, Vince doesn't care. He really doesn't.
If we had shut down to start with, when this thing started, if we shut down, we said, okay, we're going to take a month here. We're going to shut everything down. We're going to go through this. We're going to get our testing in place. We're going to get our contact tracing in place. I think that the deaths would have been way down. And so we would have had this all set up and ready to go. Instead, we said, okay, the president said, okay, all 50 states, you're going to do your own thing. Go figure it out. You're on your own. And, well, no PPE for you because that's our stuff. Well, whose stuff? We're the United States of America. The federal government should be stepping in to help out, not sitting back. If one of our states got attacked by another country, are we going to say, you figure it out? No. We're going to go help out. It's some pretty cool masks out there. Yes, there are. There are some pretty cool masks out there. And we've been wearing a mask when we go out, but most people don't.
I wear a mask all the time, folks.
Which is stupid.
It works. Believe me, it works. If I haven't preached this enough, it works.
Yeah.
I've worn a mask for the last 2.5 years, nearly 3, and I haven't really gotten sick. We just...
The funny thing is, Scott, is people complain about the masks and how it makes them look ugly and all this stuff. Well,
I look good,
should
okay?
I just take off
I look good in a mask.
Should I take off my clothes and run around? Because me having my clothes off, other than people maybe dying, because I'm laughing because I'm running around naked, is not going to hurt anybody.
I don't understand it.
People wearing a mask could save somebody's life. Or save somebody from having, damage to their lungs and hurting them, that affects them the rest of their life.
I have a red mask that matches my red clothes.
More people worry about personal freedoms than doing what's necessary for the greater good. Yes, Mrs. Gleen.
Pretty much. The society that we live in is just baffling to me. It's bananas. And, the sad thing is I notice it because...
I don't think Mox will be there now.
I notice it because I go out in a mask. And, when I'm around all these people that don't have masks on, And they're, like, so weirded out because I have a mask on. It's baffling. Like, they, like, stare at you, and it's baffling. It doesn't bother me because I'm like, whatever, fine, stare at me, go ahead. Look at me. It's fine, whatever. I'm wearing a mask. Does it make a difference? But it's like, people have this mentality of, like, oh, weird. You're wearing a mask. Like, go away. Stick your head in some dirt. Like, I don't, it's not weird. I'm keeping myself safe, homies. Like, seriously.
I wonder how much this is going to change what Seth does.
I don't know, man. If I'm some of these people, like I said, like Seth Rollins, like Daniel Bryan, like Angelo Dawkins, I would seriously be considering saying, I'm not coming in anymore. Like, I'm staying home. And I'm not wrestling.
When protests started, when COVID started, many businesses were slow to react, and shows they don't give a rat's rear end about employees, but only how much they profit. Yeah, and that's the problem. The funny thing is, Scott, is these businesses, the government goes, they tell you should have 3 months saved up of money, so if you had issues, you could, like, sit around for 3 months and like, make it. Why did these businesses couldn't go 2 weeks without it? And so, I don't understand, where they're telling people to do this that are living paycheck to paycheck, and these big businesses can't even do it. So
I don't get it, man.
The businesses are terrible. I don't mind the people who do or don't wear masks because I respect both sides, but if you're sick with anything, you should certainly wear a mask, even if you don't have COVID. I think you need to wear a mask because if you're not wearing a mask and you have it, you're not protecting the people.
See, you don't know. 90% of the time, a lot of these people, it's like you don't know if you have it or not because you can be asymptomatic. You can have it and not even know you have it. And so that's where wearing a mask, anytime you go out, I think is,
I'm glad our show went from talking about NXT and AEW.
See, we were. It's because of WWE and the COVID stuff, and I wanted to do it in between.
We can do a whole show on COVID.
In between the NXT and AEW stuff, we haven't even talked about AEW yet, and we're gonna get to it in a minute. But yeah, the WWE is stupid. I think they need to shut their shows down, and they just haven't handled it well at all. And this is where I will.
You said big business, Mr. D, hold me back. Bars and gyms here are staying closed for another 2 weeks.
Is that the word? Commend AEW?
I think you have to, James. I mean, I don't understand why people are so,
Yes.
We are a selfish society.
Pretty much.
And I gotta go to the bar because I gotta hang out with my friends. I don't care who I get, if I get this, who I make sick, or, who can die from it, or who can be, like, seriously ill from it. It doesn't matter to me. Let's just go get it. I know big businesses stole money from the little guys with no consequences. Yeah.
No. With no consequences! You have to read it right, man. If it's in big letters, you gotta read it. Like, you gotta emphasize it.
I think it's live.
No, I'm pretty sure it's live.
Which is why I think
Mox and yeah.
If you put COVID in your title, YouTube becomes a lot more strict.
Man, oh man. So,
I didn't put COVID on my title, but I put it in my picture.
So,
on my thumbnail for this, I put it on
you did. See, the folks knew.
How you doing, Clark?
They knew that we were going to talk about
matches
COVID.
You have ever seen? There's a lot of them.
So,
I don't know. I'd have to come up with a list. And write it down.
Are we ready to get into AEW?
I
think we are. Because I've done my fair share of yelling about how WWE is stupid, and that'll probably inevitably happen again at some point in time. But now AEW. So like I said, QT Marshall was supposed to be on the show, but he was in contact with somebody with COVID-19, and the same thing with Jon Moxley now, as it has been confirmed that Rey Mysterio. What? It's been
people who don't believe in COVID, so not only do they ignore the virus, they also act like no other illness exists. Yeah, I agree. It's just like...
man.
I don't agree with the media. I think the media does a lot of stupid stuff. But this whole COVID thing, if you just go back, you can go and read the information and see the statistics. You don't have to look at the media to find out about the statistics and stuff that's happening. So I don't know why people sit here and try and blow this off and say it's no big deal.
Woo. So
when your hospitals are overwhelmed, there's a problem. Because that doesn't happen.
So AEW, QT Marshall, and Jon Moxley have come into contact with people who have COVID-19. And so, yes, that's the point I'm trying to get across. Renee Young, not Rey Mysterio. I don't even know why I said Rey Mysterio. It came out Rey Mysterio. I was trying to say Renee Young, but I said Rey Mysterio. So that's not what I meant. I meant Renee Young. So, yes, AEW.
Yes.
The people who compare COVID to the flu make me want to punch things. I know the feeling. So, first we get Luchasaurus versus Wardlow in a Lumberjack match. This is fine, but again, I was, watching this, and I was, after all this WWE news and, the COVID stuff, and I was like, there is no social distancing going on in this match whatsoever. Holy garbage. So, Wardlow won, and then after MJF goes after Jungle Boy, and it was great. So, we have another match set for Fyter Fest, which we'll talk about in a minute, because we're going to go through the card, because they gave us a list of all the matches that are happening. So, we'll talk about that in a bit. Some conspiracy people try to rebel against COVID-19 by being more unsanitary and coughing on purpose. Like, dude, COVID or not, the flu still exists. Like, dude, COVID or the flu not, I just don't want you to cough all over me, bruh. Okay? Renee, tomatoes.
Mrs. Gleen says the people who compare COVID to the flu
I already read that.
Punch things.
You were listening.
Yeah, I know, because, you're, rambling on.
I was talking about AEW!
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about.
You weren't even listening, man. Jeez. So the Luchasaurus Wardlow match was, fine. But like I said, after watching this and the COVID stuff with WWE, I was like, geez, there's, no social distancing. Everybody's like, it just, makes me more, conscious about it.
That's why I think this fall is going to be interesting with the flu and COVID hitting at the same time.
I think this fall is going to be, not good. The flu and COVID should both be taken seriously.
So I don't have to worry about it.
I mean, I stay away from people for the majority, too. I only go out every 8 weeks to go and get my infusion. And so, yeah. That's the only time I ever leave the house.
Yes, but walking into, the children's hospital that we go to is like walking into,
Fort Knox.
Yeah.
You can't get in if you have a temperature.
Yeah.
You can't even get in, the sliding doors. Those doors. Whatever you call those. What are those called?
Sliding doors.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. So, yeah.
Fyter Fest. I thought you said Fyter Fest.
So, we then have Taz. And Taz is, he's talking about moves or whatever. And then we get Sheeta versus Jobber. Sheeta won. And after she goes for a Penelope Ford and, beats her face in and breaks Kip Sabian's sunglasses. And I thought this was hilarious because Kip Sabian was like, yeah, Penelope, fine. We're all good. And then he took his glasses off his face and he realized that one of the lenses was out. And he goes, what the hell? You broke my sunglasses. I can't even believe you. And he started, right after him. Penelope was like, Kip, what are you doing? We'll get another pair. And it was hilarious, man.
Bet no women's matches.
So.
That's because none of them are, yes, Sheeta.
Do you have friends? No. All of my friends are on the internet. That would be my answer to that. Because people suck. So, kids that are my own age, they suck. And so, I prefer not to hang out with them. So I stay home and talk to people on Twitter. That's what I do. So, yes, I do have friends, but not in real life.
All of you are our friends.
I mean, not my online friends aren't my friends in real life, but, I don't have any, people that I talk to, people, like this. Hi, how you doing? Like that. That would be that. So that's the answer to that question. So, Sheeta won. It was great. Loved Kip Sabian. He was the highlight of this segment. After this, we get Cody and Hager, the press conference. I don't know why I'm singing everything, but I am. It makes things far more entertaining, obviously. So Jake Hager ends up, and all your friends are imaginary. Yeah, all my friends are in this little box. You see this box right here that we like to call a phone. And all my friends are in here. So there you go. That's the answer to the burning question. So Jake Hager ends up showing up late, and he's like, I'm here.
Couldn't you have a nurse come to yell at him?
I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, I've asked Mom about that, but I don't know. The hospital that I go to is 2 hours away.
I don't even know if they would send one here.
I don't know. They might be suck it up. And I might be Who knows? Who knows, man? So, Jake Hager's wife ends up slapping Cody in the face, and everybody's like, and so we had this, and it was fine, or whatever. And then we get Joey Janela and Sunny Kiss. This is the greatest segment of life.
I thought it was a cool segment. It kind of reminds me of Lucha Underground, where they're doing a story.
I like this because it just reminds me of I don't know, but it was very funny. And I like this. So essentially they were at a gas station, and Sunny Kiss is putting gas in the car or whatever. And Joey Janela is in the what's it called?
They are. So Mrs. Gleen says at this point in time in human.
What is it called?
The
gas station! Jeez, I don't know. I don't know why.
Thanks for yelling.
I couldn't remember what it was called. I was like, they're at the gas station, and then Joey Janela was in the gas station. Duh. And he is, getting Lunchables and getting all this different stuff. And Sunny Kiss is then outside beating all these people up. And Joey Janela walks out, and he's like, oh shoot.
It's a cool segment.
But he said something else, and they bleeped it out. And then the two of them beat people up, and I highly enjoyed this. I love the two of them as a team because I feel like Sunny Kiss has this sass and this attitude, and Joey Janela just has this crazy aspect to him.
Sunny Kiss hype.
And so the two of them together is I love it because they just work so well. So we have that. We then get Colt Cabana and Brody Lee versus Sunny Kiss and Joey Janela. I enjoyed this too.
I like what they're doing with Colt Cabana. The whole idea of he's kind of confused whether he wants to join the Dark Order or not.
Well, the whole point of this match was to see if he could get a win with the Dark Order's help because he's been on a losing streak as of late. And so he did. They did end up winning the match. And after this, Lance Archer attacks Sunny and Janela. And so this is setting up a match for Fyter Fest, which again, I'll go through the entire list of the matches for Fyter Fest at the very end because we have a thing in here talking about each night. Then we get FTR versus SCU, and this was originally supposed to be FTR versus QT Marshall and Dustin, but obviously QT came into contact with somebody who has COVID, and so he was told to stay home. That was, good on AEW's part. So this match was epic. Their tag team division is stacked beyond belief, and I love it. Their tag team division is the best thing that they have, and it's just so amazing to watch this and know that tag team wrestling doesn't actually suck.
Well,
WWE just does. And tag team wrestling can be so amazingly great. And I say this every time they're on TV. I'm just so very glad that FTR got out of WWE when they could before they started doing all this really goofy stuff. I am so glad they did because they are used so much better in AEW than they ever would have been in WWE. So FTR won the match, and after Butcher and Blade come out, and they challenge FTR to an 8-man tag team match at Fyter Fest. The Young Bucks and FTR versus Butcher and Blade, and the returning Lucha Bros. Same here. I miss the Lucha Bros. Rey Fenix had that fall back before what was the pay-per-view? Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
And messed up his tailbone, messed up his butt, messed up whatever he messed up. And he's back, and I'm glad because they're another good tag team that just so entertaining. And I think this match is going to be really fun because of the different styles that they have. I mean, they have the Lucha style with the Lucha Brothers. They have the, the fists, no flips with FTR. You have the Young Bucks and their super high flying style with all the tricks and stuff. And Butcher and Blade, I don't really know what Butcher and Blade's style is because I haven't really seen much of them. And, they're just two of these, big, big brutes, I guess. And so I think that's what they'll I think this tag team match is going to be really, really fun because of the mixing of all the different styles of wrestling that they're going to have. So, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I think they're overall, not just, we sit here and talk about their tag division being the best. Yeah, they're really, their tag division is really, really good. But I think overall, even in their individual division is really, really good.
I agree.
I think the one thing that they're hurting on is the women's division, but I think that
I even think the women's division is decent. It's definitely not.
Well, it's not deep.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But I think that part of that is the building up of their product. So I think that over time, I think you're going to see the women's division build up.
I agree. I guess for me, the reason I really focus on the tag team division is probably because WWE does it so poorly. And, I guess I pay attention more to the fact that, they know how to book a good tag team match. AEW knows how to book a good tag team match. They just do. And their singles matches are good too, but I just notice it more with the tag team because tag teams in WWE suck.
Well, the WWE seems to try and throw people together just for the fun of it, and don't try and build anything up, which is fine if you're going to build it up. But they don't build anything up. With AEW, what they're doing with Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, building up that whole camaraderie and how they're working together and stuff like that. They're kind of building that up. So I think that that will, they create the storylines better.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree. So after this, we get Best Friends and Paige and Omega video package for their match for Fyter Fest. Again, I like this. I think this is another smart decision, to put a little video package together to kind of build up to the match, give, more hype for the match. We then get a Brian Cage and Taz promo. This is great. Taz always gets a good promo, and we were watching ECW with Gimme a Whole Yeah the other day, this past weekend, and he cut a really good promo on there. Taz watching that and then watching this tonight, it's there's no difference. The dude is still so very good at what he does, and he can cut a good promo, and it sounds so good,
Yeah, Taz is awesome at what he does, and I love the fact that they took the opportunity that Mox knew that Moxley wasn't going to be there, and Taz is you're sitting at home on a couch, you're scared of him, so I think this was good.
I like this. So
I wonder what they're going to do the next 2 weeks now that they are knowing that Moxley's probably not going to be there for 2 weeks. And maybe he'll be there. I don't know.
Maybe he will, but also I don't think...
Depends on when Renee tested.
But also, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me for him to potentially go in and...
I would agree, Export. At the moment, I would say he's probably the best manager.
To me, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for Mox to go in and potentially infect, people, to potentially do that. I don't think that would be the best decision. So if it were me, I would say, as much as I want to be there and as much as I want to defend my championship and as much as I want to do this show, I just don't think it's safe for everybody else that I be there, And that's kind of what I hope they do.
Yeah.
Because it would show, Mox's character and his, he isn't just this, character on TV. He was this larger-than-life dude. He's like, I'm actually looking out for the people that are, there that I work with. And I don't want to infect all of them. So, yeah. I honestly just think it would be better if they just didn't.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So we then get Brody Lee and Colt Cabana, and they're backstage, and they are calling out SCU. So that is leading to their match at Fyter Fest. So after that whole situation, we go through the entire Fyter Fest card. So on night 1, we are getting MJF and Wardlow versus Jurassic Express. I think this match should be great.
I think it will be too.
This feud has been really, really fun, and I think it'll be great.
I agree.
So, yeah. We got that. I think MJF and Wardlow will win.
I agree.
I think it just makes sense for them to. We then have Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz.
Santana and Ortiz.
I think Private Party is going to win this one. Because I feel like they've built them up with Matt Hardy that I think it makes sense for them to win this match. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still don't think I think they'll be, I think Matt Hardy will get involved.
Penelope Ford and Sheeta for the women's title. Sheeta's going to win that. I don't think Penelope Ford is going to be given the title. If she does, I will be shocked. But I'm almost positive that Sheeta will.
Yes, Sheeta wins.
Win. Jake Hager versus Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship. Cody?
I agree.
Cody.
Cody wins.
Good choice, because I don't think Jake Hager needs to have the TNT Championship.
Yeah.
That's not on that. And then lastly, we have Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus the Best Friends for the Tag Team Championships.
I could see Best Friends winning this.
I could see them winning this. I feel like this one can go either way. And I'd be completely fine with it.
The Page and Omega, split.
See, but I don't know if they're going to do that now. They might just, split up anyways, but I don't think it's going to be some, big blow-up,
They got enough tag team divisions in their good tag teams that they don't need to have Omega and Page together anymore.
I mean, I agree, and I'm not saying that they need to be together still, but I just don't think that they necessarily would have this, huge blow-up.
I think night 2 is going to be awesome, but I think night 1 looks... I mean, night 1 is pretty stacked.
I think
what they have.
That... I don't think there's going to be any, huge blow-up with Kenny and Paige at this point. I think they might just, go their separate ways and be like, okay, we lost the tag team titles. But maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe there will be a big blow-up. I mean, who knows? But I just get the feeling that there's not going to be. So, I don't know, Best Friends? Best Friends? I'd be okay with Best Friends winning the tag titles. I think it'd be fine. So, night 2, we have Joey Janela versus Lance Archer. This should be another fun match. Lance Archer has to win, I think. This is his first feud since Cody, and I think you just can't have him lose twice in a row, so I would say Lance Archer.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose is going to be in action against who? We don't know. But against somebody. So maybe somebody new comes in?
Could be.
Maybe somebody not new comes in? I mean, I don't know. She's going to fight somebody, though. We then have SCU versus Dark Order. I think Dark Order is going to win this one. Dark Order, including Colt Cabana. It's a 6-man tag match, I think.
Yeah.
So, Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. This feud is so fun.
They built this up good.
And we'll talk more on that in the main event. But I feel like Orange Cassidy. I think to get Orange Cassidy over, not that he isn't already over, but I feel like just to get the rub from Jericho, I think letting Orange Cassidy win would be really, really cool. I don't think Jericho necessarily needs to win this. It's not going to hurt him at all if he loses.
Yeah.
So I would say Orange Cassidy.
I would agree.
I think that would be the smart move. Young Bucks and FTR versus Butcher, Blade, and the Lucha Bros. I think Young Bucks and FTR.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking for this.
I agree.
And then Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage. And that one is kind of in question based on everything that's happening now. So if it happens, I feel like Brian Cage has to win, or there needs to be some outside interference from Darby Allin or something, because you can't have Brian Cage lose his first match.
You get Darby Allin.
He hasn't been cleared.
But you think you'd like put something out there like for 2 weeks about him?
No. Maybe they're trying not to, so then when he shows up at Fyter Fest Night 2, it's a big surprise.
I guess.
Everybody's like, oh, Darby Allin is back, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. So yeah. We then have Britt and Swole.
See, brings ratings, believe it or not.
Yeah, the dude is a genius.
Yeah.
He's a wrestling genius. So Britt and Swole. Swole ends up throwing trash on Britt Baker. I thought this was funny. I love their entire feud. I cannot wait until Britt is able to come back and wrestle, because this is gonna be like her first match, and it's gonna be so good. Just like the blow up of just everything. It's gonna be so good.
Another thing on the Sportsters list of the things that WWE will never do again, one is real life screw jobs. I'm guessing they won't. Yeah, I agree, Clark. I don't think that'll ever happen again.
So the other thing, Santana and Matt Hardy.
Yes.
Fighting each other. Matt won, and then Private Party shows up at the end to kind of help, because
Santana and Ortiz
are beating him up.
Matt Hardy.
And then in the main event, you have Jericho and Orange Cassidy. This was good. I like this whole confrontation.
Jericho, I think, could work with anybody.
I think so.
And after, I used to not like Orange Cassidy, but I'm starting to like him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I used to sit there and watch it and go, man, this guy's dumb. This is stupid. But I like the whole gimmick now.
So, I like this entire feud. I think Jericho and Orange Cassidy just work so well together.
Yeah.
And they just do. It's like there's just something about it that's just so highly enticing and entertaining, and it's like I really want to see how this is gonna play out.
Well, because of the way Jericho handles it, like the whole promo thing, the talking part of it is like, because Orange Cassidy doesn't even have to say anything.
He just exactly.
Jericho kind of is the one that's doing all the talking, but it's an entertaining feud that is taking place. It is. It really is.
And so I can't wait for the big blow up at Fyter Fest. I think Orange Cassidy needs to win, and I think it's going to be epic.
I think so too.
So, good. Yes. That's NXT.
That is it.
That's AEW.
NXT, AEW. NXT, I'd say probably I'd give 5.5, 6 stars.
5.
AEW, I'd probably give 7.
5. AEW, I'll give 7.5 because they're great.
Yeah, I would agree.
Better than
stuff they're doing is good.
Much better than NXT.
Yes.
So as it stands right now, the only thing I'm seeing is, Renee is the only one that's come out and said that I've got COVID. So I'm not seeing anything else at the moment.
So just Renee Young has come out.
Mhm. Because Backstage got canceled. Did you see that?
Why?
Because Fox was like, we're not doing this anymore. And so they canceled it. They canceled the show. It's not happening anymore.
Because Fox is probably tired of WWE stuff.
They canceled something with boxing, too.
Fox is probably, like, kicking themselves because...
They're like, dang, why do we do this? Like, why? I mean, I don't blame them. So, yeah. I think that's it.
All right. I think that's it. We will be back Friday. SmackDown.
Yes.
Probably have more information on stuff that's taking place.
Probably. Because I'm assuming in the next 2 days some stuff is going to come out.
Yeah.
So.
Wrestlers that can or can't wrestle. So, with that, we're going to take off. We'll be back Friday. If you want to check me out here, I'm going to go on
Twitch.
If you want to talk more wrestling, you can come here. I'll be on there about a half hour. Or you can just come in and watch me play games. One of the two.
One of the two. Well, watch you lose.
Yeah, we'll play games.
But you're going to play, but you're going to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. So.
I did win a game earlier, so.
Oh, sweet.
You know.
One game.
Yeah. So with that, we're going to take off. We'll be back Friday. You guys have a good one.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Wear your mask.
Don't be a fool. Be cool.
Be cool. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out, folks.